Hello viewers, you're welcome to the second episode of Sauti Africa. Sauti Africa is a show that brings you various African youths who have done their best to inspire other youths who have achieved quite a lot in their lives, and they inspire other youths. They're like heroes to other youths. And I'm your host, Zawede Patricia. Today we are going to interview George Okurut. He's a dancer. He was once on the streets. He has hustled his way through life, and he's helping quite very many youths out there to become something in their life and to do something so that they prosper in their lives and they don't be on the streets and all that. So, George, you're welcome to Sauti Africa.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting me today. I'm so much happy to share my story with all the youths who are around the world to hear, and how also they can change their lives.
Yeah, so George, can you give me like a brief history of where you came from, where you started from, like your life?
Yeah, my name is Okurut George, and I come from northern Uganda, that is Pade district. And my journey mostly started because I grew up in different areas of the world. I grew up in Jinja, in Soroti side, Palisa, and then I went to northern Uganda.
If you're a traveler.
Yeah. But by the time when I went to northern Uganda, it was still, the period was still the period of war. So I went and I experienced the war.
That is like in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s. It was now coming into when they are now trying to hold the peace talks.
Yeah.
And I went to Jule Primary School, and then I went to Kidgum High School. That's where I did my high school.
Yeah.
So from there, I decided to take technical side of education.
You're an engineer?
Yeah,
that's
because
interesting.
that was my part of my dream. Even if when I wanted to be a mechanic engineer, but it wasn't so successful because it was so much expensive for me to achieve it. So I went for the building side, and I did my building, that's the bricklaying and concrete practice. I did it for 2 years. Then I came out. I started to learn dancing.
Are you building right now?
Yeah, I do building, but I left it because of too much hard working, and also it takes a lot of energy, and they pay less money, and yet when you're using a lot of energy. Yeah, so when I did that one, and then I joined some of the companies like Call Service Company. I worked with them. I worked with Sarik Construction Company. And then I started to work with some of the engineers who do sub-construction, subcontracts. Yeah.
Tell us how you get to Kampala, how you start the street life, and how it all went.
Yeah, for me to come to Kampala, I think that one started when I was doing dance in the village. Yeah. Because I was doing dance and also skating at the same time. And then my dad didn't want me to do it, and he was like, those things are for people who are thieves, because he has been in Kampala here, so he has been observing those kind of things. And yet for me, I really wanted it because I find it is more fun.
It was passion.
It was more passion to me. So we had some disagreement within ourselves. Then he told me now, you guy, what? And then for me, I decided to leave home. Yeah. Because I want something which makes me happy, but I don't want something which I should make other people happy. Okay. And then I came to Kampala. Yeah. And when I came to Kampala, I started going to I first went to the farm of my friends. So before leaving Kitgum, did you have any plan that when I come to Kampala, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to do this, or you just came? No, I first came to my sister's place. Oh. Yeah, I came to my sister's place, and then I stayed with her quite of little time. Then I found like I'm not getting what I want. Yeah. Then I decided to go to the street, and from the street I stayed there for some few months because I had a friend who was so much into is a constructor. Yeah. So he came most of the time. He can come and pick me up. He says, George, come and we'll work in this kind of site, and we can go to Namugongo, we can go to Kisasi. And I come back again, I stay with my friends in the street more slowly. So which areas of the street you would sleep on the streets during daytime or nighttime? Yeah, for me, like I had a mixed life, the village life and also the urban life. So it helped me sometimes, most of the time, and I could sometimes I could stay in the street, but sleeping I go in the site.
Yeah.
Because I have friends who are in construction, so I could sleep in the site, and then sometimes I be with my friends in the street.
So according to what I know, most street kids or children have problems when it comes to drug use and substances. So how did you deal with that, or how did you survive that? Because it takes down most of these people.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I started drinking when I was still young. So it helped me so much how to control myself and how to manage myself in drinking. My mom, I remember like my mom when she was still making alcohol in the village with those drums. Yeah, so I started drinking when I was still young.
What do they call it?
That is, most people, they call it like lira. Other people call it like Uganda wara. Like the way they call it in different languages.
Locally distilled. Yeah,
locally distilled one. So I started drinking when I was still young, and my uncle was the one teaching me. So it helped me like to manage and also to know the benefit of it and also the bad of it. Because
you had self-control.
Yeah, I had self-control. Yeah. Even if when sometimes I used those drugs, but I didn't so much used into it.
Like you didn't become an addict.
Yeah. So I can use it when I'm with friends, but when I get out of it again, it gives me to think more twice, and I said no, I have to be myself.
This is the right thing.
This is not the right thing.
So how do you start to realize that this is not the life I want for myself?
Yeah.
How do you start to get to the other bit of dancing and other things? How do you get off the street? What inspired you to get out of it?
Yeah, what inspired me to get out of it, even by then, even if when I was in the street with my friends, I really appreciate one of my friends is called Hema.
Yeah.
So by then I was doing breakdance, but in breakdance there was a lot of competitions, and for me I don't like things of pulling ropes or what, because all the northern Uganda where I come from, we were in the war, so a lot of people shed a lot of blood, and people were so much stressed and depressed. So this friend of mine told me like, can we maybe go somewhere you get out of your comfort zone, and maybe it can try to help you. Then one of the engineers took us to Bududa. So and in Bududa I didn't knew anyone, so I stayed there like for 6 months. And while I was there, I could go for farming, I could go for site. Then I had also my savings, because there renting it was more cheaper. The house was cheaper. So I came back in Kampala when I had a little bit of money. So from there I started now to change my friendship, to change people whom I can be with. I started to go to, because they told me like when you go to National Theatre there's something, when you go to BPU in here, breakdance. So when I started to go to breakdance, I learned the basics of breakdance, and then I met some lady, I met some guy. He told me, man, he taught us yoga. So I told him I would love this thing, because the way he taught it, it was more so much inspiring, and also there's a way it attacked me myself. So he told me like, you can come to National Theatre. From National Theatre I went and I met a girl called Bibo Tag. And then I told her what I've gone through, and then she was like, yeah, now you've come onto the right path, where yoga, it will help you. So when you put yoga and then you also add on dance, because dance also there's a way it helps your mind to be fresh. So when you add in with yoga, it will make you a different person. So she started mentoring me almost 2 years. By then I came back. I left the street life. I came back to stay with my sister.
Which year is that?
It was in 2016, 2017. So when I came back to my sister, and I started now to change. I started changing slowly. I could stay with my sister and my cousin brother.
So how has the yoga helped you as a person? How has it built you?
Yoga has built me in many ways, and I really appreciate it so much. Like, I appreciate this girl for mentoring me, because when she mentored me as to be a teacher, I thought like when I teach adult people, they will always stress me, because adults, like someone you can teach, someone says, this thing I don't like it, what?
So I don't deal with adults.
I deal with them, but not so much, not so quite. I deal more with children.
More with children, because they're easy.
They are so much easier, and also they have a lot of they go through a lot of issues. So when she mentored me through that one.
Yet other people feel like kids are too much stress. For you, you'd rather concentrate on kids.
Yeah, I'd rather concentrate in children than adults so much, because children, there's somewhere for them they understand, even if when you say something, even if they can sometimes argue with you, but not so much like adults, the way they argue with you. So I focus into children, starting teaching them slowly, and also that one helped me to build my career as a teacher. Yeah, so after that one, then in 2018, yeah, I went for the certification in Tanzania under Yoga Pravida. So I did yoga for children to be certified to teach them, because in Uganda for you to teach in a different institute you have to be certified. I went there, I did it, and then I came back. I started with one of my friend, a white guy. We started to open up a yoga studio in Kisenyi.
Is it still there?
No, it is not. No, it's no longer existing there because the place was taken away. The person was giving us a place, he sold it away. So that place was really like you know where this Kifesi in
you are in the middle.
Yeah, we're in the middle. We were also with them mostly, and all of them they always come for the class. But the challenge which I saw, like most of these people to change, and also the students, was the challenge was food. So we could always have food and we do yoga. So many of them, they could come.
Because of the food.
Because of the food. And sometimes when even the riot happens, most of them, they come and stay in the studio. But there are few of them, they go in the road, they smash people's bag, they smash a lot of things. And they come to me again, they say, teacher, I'm from working. So, you know, they have
they are from stealing.
Yeah, they are from stealing. So I try to tell them this is not good. And most of them, they have changed now life, and they have started joining the small clubs of football. In Kisenyi.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is how it started with me. And then from there, I started to go into different communities in northern Uganda, Mbale, and I had to join this initiative called World Peace Initiative. So for them, they deal more with peace, like meditations, because those are things which helps your mind to become someone else. When I joined also them, it helped me to connect with a lot of youth around the world who are more into leadership. It builds also my career to keep pushing myself. And then I came back and I went to Indian Eye Commission. So Indian Eye Commission, they gave me a scholarship to go and learn and study yoga in India, in one of the yoga university called Vyasa Yoga University in India. So it also that one helped me to meet like people who are there. Like I met, it was really a good opportunity for me to meet one of the biggest guy, the founder of Cancer Institute in New York. And also he has come to learn yoga into that university.
You inspired him to
so we get in touch, and now we are still in touch together, like how to introduce yoga to people who are suffering with cancer. So when I came, that one, now I started to meet with different people, and I worked even with, now I have classes at Indian Eye Commission Embassy, but because of COVID they have been stopped, and I have now private classes, but more into, I do my private, but also I do my community classes, because in the community I don't charge them, because it is more expensive. So you have
like a George Okurut Foundation kind of thing for...
I really don't have it, because sometimes having a foundation, it gives a lot of stress to me. I feel like that.
All the costs and all that. You don't have like funders yet?
I don't have like funders, but I do sometimes have people who come in like, George, what you're doing is really changing the community, so they can support little. So I have different people, like I have people from swing dance community and also in yoga community.
What message do you have for many people who are out there and they have dreams, but they feel like they don't know how to start, they don't know how to get there? What piece of advice do you have for the youth out there?
The piece of advice which I can send to all the youths around the world is we always get ourselves limited, like we put limit into ourselves, and we should accept most of the time to get out of our comfort zone and to go and face the reality, because we always have the peer groups in ourselves, And also sometimes changing friends also helps us into growing into our careers. I know many youth who have not gone into so much education, and others they have gone into so much education, but now how can you associate with all of them? That one helps also into our growing, and we should also exercise more most of the time, and also to accept the challenge. If something you feel like you can't manage it, leave it and let it go. But I always tell most of the youth, like, sometimes try yoga is really good. Even if many people, they feel like, this thing is from India, is from where I fear to take it. But the more you do it, the more there's a way it helps your mind, to boost your mind, and also to understand, for you to see things the way they are, like in the reality, like you be in the present most of the time, than thinking of so much the future, and also thinking of so much of the past, which also affects our mind. So I think that is the most message which I tell people, like, meditate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself 5 years from now with your yoga career?
Yeah.
The young children out there that you're helping, where do you think you will be standing?
I think in 5 years I'll be having maybe, how do we call it? It should be like, for them they call it like kind of a temple, or maybe not a temple, like kind of a home, where I will be having like people coming for yoga, people coming like for sharing, meditating, and also understanding themselves, who are there, and what do they really need into this kind of life. That's what I'm seeing myself to come. Yeah.
How about, do you have any plans for the young kids who are like maybe on the streets, like how to help them?
Yeah, apparently the project which I have is of swing dance, and this swing dance came from South America. So I'm trying to engage all the young youths into dance, of swing dance, and also connecting them with different people around the world who can sponsor them to come out of those things, and also to achieve their education levels, because that's what the project which I'm working on. And of recent, I worked with, last year we participated into International India Championship with some of the children in Islamia in Zambia, and they managed to be in second position around the world. Yeah. And also we participated into...
But how come we don't know those things? Like, okay, they are not out there. Is it you're not so much into media, you're not covered?
Yeah, I know, you know, like sometimes the media in Uganda, there's a way it works. So, and for me, I don't like so much going to the media. But I've focused so much also to market these people outside, because that's where the market of it is. Yeah, so most of the people, they understand me, those one in European countries, and also in America. They understand the dance
more than us here in Africa.
They understand it. So that's why I'm trying to market, because these children, most of them, some of them, they have this talent of traditional. So I'm trying to fuse it with traditional, so that they can become more pop-uppers, and they can become more marketable into selling their art outside the countries.
Okay, George.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Your story is so inspiring, coming from the streets, perseverance. I think it also takes a lot of patience to where you are right now.
Yeah.
And you're really an inspiration to very many youths out there who are still battling with problems of using drugs, on the street, sleeping out there, theft, and they've not realized what they want for themselves in life. And I pray that you keep on doing it and you achieve many more, and keep on touching young people's lives.
Yeah, thank you so much also too. Thank you so much, and thank you also for hosting me.
So I hope you won't mind giving us like a small wrap up of your dance, right? It can be like a small, so that our viewers understand a little bit of what Swiss dance is.
Oh, but there's no music, but I can give you something, because for us we have like when you're doing like swing dance, we have our like a national. It is like a national anthem dance, which is called Shim Sham.
Oh, Shim Sham.
And everyone can dance. It is very simple. So
looking forward to learn as well.
Yeah, and I hope maybe when all this saga of COVID-19 gets done, I'll be opening some of the social dancing. I want to learn Shim Sham. Why you want it? I
I wanna learn shim sham. Why you wanna? So I can shim sham with you. I gotta learn shim sham. Come on over. I gotta learn shim sham. Come on over. I gotta learn shim sham. Come on over. You're going to shim sham school. You're gonna take that step. No, do that. The dance in the world around. Wherever swing past me. Soon as the king get in line and they go to town. I gotta learn shim.
Thank you for watching us. Thank you for being part of this episode of Sauti Africa. George has really given us his story, and it's touching, it's inspiring, and I hope it helps very many of you out there. Stay tuned in for the next episode of Sauti Africa. Follow us on Faraja TV on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook, and all our platforms. Stay tuned.